Tonight on Week 6 of the Fox 14 Press Box, two of the best programs in Missouri square off with Webb City hosting Carthage in a top 5 matchup. Lamar and Nevada meet tonight in the latest edition of the Silver Tiger rivalry. In Kansas, the Parsons Vikings try to stay unbeaten, hitting the road for a big district game against Galena. Fresh off a big win over Columbus, the Frontenac Raiders try to stay rolling at home against Baxter Springs. And in Oklahoma, Quapaw hits the road to Fairland in a battle of two 4-1 teams. This is the four states' only 30-minute high school football highlight show. This is Week 6 of the Fox 14 Press Box, and it starts right now.
Fox 14's Press Box is sponsored by Missouri Southern State University, Roper Kia, CDL Electric, and Kramer's Quality Meats of Grove.
What's up, everybody? This is Week 6 of Press Box here on Fox 14. Fox 14 Sports Director Jacob-Lenard. Here beside me, like every Friday night, is Dani-Terzer.
We have some really good games on the schedule this week. We're starting with two of the best teams in Missouri. The Webb City Cardinals are at home tonight hosting the Carthage Tigers. Carthage is 5-1 this season with their only loss coming against undefeated Nixa. Webb City enters the night at 4-2. Cardinals drive down the field on their first possession. Brecken Gallardo battles his way into the end zone for 6. The rest of the half, it's all Carthage. Luke Gall answers. He gets in from 10 yards out. Next Tigers possession, first play of the drive. Cooper Jadwin flips it to Gall on the far side. He rips off a 42-yard touchdown run. Carthage takes the lead 14-7. Second quarter, back to Gall. He scores on 4 straight drives. It's 28-7 Tigers. Carthage holds off to beat Webb City 28-14. The Joplin Eagles had a bounce-back game last week, beating Republic by 14 after suffering their first loss to Nixa in Week 5.
Joplin is now 5-1 overall, with just 3 games remaining on their regular season schedule. Now the Eagles at home tonight against the COC rivals from down the road, Carl Junction Bulldogs. First quarter, Joplin ball. Handoff goes to running back Quinn Renfro. He goes right up the middle for the first touchdown of the night. With the extra point, 7-0 Joplin. Sticking around in the first quarter, off play action, Hobbs Gooch finds Terrence Gibson in the end zone. Second touchdown of the night pushes the Joplin lead to 13. More from the Eagles. Running back Chavis Coleman coming to the near side. He's in for 6. Joplin starts to pull away early, but they're not done. We're going back to Quinn Renfro here. You got to see this run. Joplin backed up deep in their own territory. Renfro gets the ball, finds a little hole up the middle, and then it's a foot race. And it's a foot race that Quinn Renfro is going to win this time. He doesn't look back. 95-yard touchdown. Joplin doesn't look back either. Eagles top CJ on homecoming, 35-7. The Seneca Indians still undefeated coming into the night. They're on the road against Reed Spring. Seneca beats the Wolves tonight, 63-49. The Indians go on the road against McDonald County next week. Well, Lamar and Nevada have been two of the best teams in Southwest Missouri all season long. They're both 5-1 this season. Most of the games haven't really been close.
The two teams meet tonight in Lamar in the latest edition of the Silver Tiger rivalry game. Lamar enters the night ranked number 4 in the state in Class 2, while Nevada is ranked 8th in Class 4. First quarter, Alex Wilkerson finds Ian Googie. He gets to the Nevada 5-yard line. Good field position now. J.R. Romeo pushes it into the end zone for the first touchdown of the game, 7-0 Lamar. Later, Wilkerson looks for an opening. He sees Googie again, 50-yard connection. So Lamar on the 5-yard line. Wilkerson cuts through the center, shakes out the defenders for another touchdown, 21-0 now. And Lamar with the ball back. This pass gets tipped into the hands of Ken Johnson. He takes it all the way for a Nevada pick 6. 2-point conversion is good, 21-8 Lamar. And Lamar goes on to win this year's Silver Tiger rivalry game 47-26.
Big guy touchdowns never get old. The Pittsburgh Purple Dragons on the road against former SEK league rival Independence. Dragons aiming for their 4th straight win after an 0-2 start. They ran away with this one tonight. 40-8 the final. Purple Dragons return home next week with an interstate matchup against Smithville, Missouri. The Chanute Blue Comets, undefeated coming in tonight, sitting at 5-0. They try to stay that way this evening at home against Fort Scott. Quick word for Chanute tonight, they win 49-6. Blue Comets hit the road next week facing Field Kinley.
Parsons Vikings have been on a roll to start the season. The Vikings are 5-0. And they're scoring 50 points per game.
Tonight, Parsons is on the road looking to stay rolling in an important district matchup with Galena. Now, the Vikings, they're 5-0. They're trying to stay. Hey, do we got these highlights? Here we go. Galena trying for the upset against undefeated Parsons. We'll pick it up in the first quarter. Parsons has the ball 4th and 5, but Kobe Myers flies in for the stop. Turnover on downs. It's Galena ball. Now on the next drive, it's 3rd and 18. Zane Turner says, screw it. Tyler Little down there somewhere. Little goes up and gets it. But the drive stalls a few plays later. Still scoreless. Parsons ball. Trey Mack gives to Jesse Jones through traffic. And he got just one man to beat. Jones all the way in for the 69-yard touchdown. Vikings take a 7-0 lead. Second quarter, Vikings now up 13-0. Galena driving, but Sam Brewer blows it up. Parsons keeps the lead at 13-0 at the break. So we'll go to the second half. Galena made it a Galena-style slugfest. Tyler Little in for the 8-yard touchdown. Bulldogs on the board. A late third. Threatening again, Dawson Mooney, first game back from injury, barrels in for the touchdown. Galena within 1, so they're going for 2. Bulldogs right back to Mooney. He's in for the 2-point conversion. Home team gets their first lead of the night. It's 14-13. Parsons ball. 2 minutes to go in the fourth. 4th down. Galena defense comes up with the stop. They get the turnover on downs, and they would run out the clock from there. The Bulldogs hand the Vikings their first loss of the season tonight. 14-13, the final.
Speaking of undefeated teams, the Girard Trojans are on the road against Iola tonight. Girard takes care of business in a shutout, 47-0. The Trojans are now 6-0 this season, including 2-0 in district play. Girard comes back home next week, hosting Anderson County. To Pittsburgh now, big CNC matchup tonight with the Colgan Panthers hosting the Columbus Titans. Columbus tries to snap a 3-game losing skid. Start of the second half, Colgan up 20-0. Brett Hamilton keeps and scores for the Titans. That makes it 27. Panthers respond, Tucker Harrell with the option. This guy is fast down the far sideline. He takes it in for the touchdown. Panthers up 28-7. Still the third quarter here, Titans look to keep it close. Hamilton goes deep. Connor Van Beesler picks it off. Panthers defense putting on a show. After the interception, Cooper Simmons takes it up the middle for the score, 36-7. And that's the final. Colgan improves to 5-1.
Coming up after the break, we still got a lot to get to. Frontenac aims for back-to-back wins hosting Baxter Springs, and Sarcoxie tries to stay unbeaten with a tough one at Marionville.
And later, district matchups for Southeast and Riverton, plus the Quapaw Wildcats hit the road against Fairland. We'll have those highlights and more next.
All right, we got to correct something real quick. We showed the Seneca score from last week against Reed Spring earlier. Seneca actually played East Newton tonight and won that one 56-7. So they didn't play Reed Spring this week. That was last week. Seneca beats East Newton 56-7. Now, to Kansas, the Frontenac Raiders grabbed a little momentum last week, going on the road and beating Columbus 35-8. The Raiders are now back over 500, sitting at 3-2 in their first 5 games. Frontenac at home this evening with a district game against Baxter Springs, a team that's also 3-2. Second play of the game, snap nearly fumbled, but Cal Turlip hands it off to the 2022 Frontenac homecoming king himself. It's Mario Mangini. He does the rest down the sideline, all the way in for the touchdown. Raiders out to an early 7-0 lead. Now, later on in the first quarter, Frontenac up 10-0. Baxter Springs looking for a spark, but Dalton Bollinger intercepts Peyton Gaines. Frontenac with good field position, and on the ensuing drive, pitch goes to Mangini. Takes it in for his second score of the night, 22. Having himself a good game. Start of the second quarter, Turlip keeps it. Even loses the cameraman here. He scores the touchdown. Raiders up 24-0. All Frontenac in this one. They take it 51-7. Field Kinley on the road for an SEK matchup tonight at Labette County. Field Kinley 4-1, trying to bounce back from their first loss, and that's what they did. Golden Tornado a winner tonight, 34-12. Field Kinley returns home next week for a big one against Chanute.
In Arma this afternoon, the Northeast Vikings get an early start against Uniontown. Both teams looking for their first win of the season. Fourth down for Uniontown. Brandon Signon flies in, big tackle for a loss. Eagles turn it over on downs. Later, Northeast trailing. Braden Young takes the direct snap, runs it in to get Northeast on the board. And then the Vikings go back to Young for the 2-point conversion. He dives in the end zone. Northeast takes the lead 8-6. Second half, Vikings defense puts up a strong effort. Tayshawn Gaynor comes up with the interception. Northeast hangs on to win its first game of the season, 8-6. The Neosho Wildcats are 3-3 in the first 6 weeks of the season. It's the first time the Wildcats have won at least 3 games in a single season since 2018. Neosho is on the road for a COC matchup with Ozark, trying to get back over 500 on the year. The Wildcats beat the Tigers 63-42. Neosho will be back at home next Friday, hosting Webb City.
Big one here, matchup of two 5-0 teams with Sarcoxy on the road against the Marionville Comets. First drive of the game, Will Carlton keeps it up the sideline for the big gain. Later in the drive, he takes it in himself for the short touchdown run. Marionville jumps out to an 8-0 lead. Sarcoxy down 14 now, trying to get something going. Short pass to Carson Torrance. He gets away for the nice gain. Bears show some life until they throw it away. Blaine Young comes up with the interception for Marionville. Comets with the ball back again. They score, put the lead at 22-0. Marionville goes on to hand Sarcoxy its first loss of the year, 44-6.
To some Thursday night action now. Liberal hosts Appleton City in a battle of two 4-2 teams. First quarter, toss to Peyton Morrow. He has plenty of time. Eventually, he goes over the middle to Luke Bott. Bott outruns everybody for the touchdown. The 2-point conversion makes it 8-0 Liberal. Still in the first, Morrow takes it to the near side, battles his way in. Home team up double digits now. To the second quarter, the toss goes back to Morrow. He's having a nice night this time. He gets through traffic down the far side and in for another touchdown. Liberal wins big over Appleton City, 40-22. Coming up next, the Riverton Rams hit the field for a district game against Cherryville, and later we'll head to Oklahoma with highlights out of Afton and Fairland. As we go to the break, though, here are a few more scores out of Southeast Kansas.
The Riverton Rams have struggled a little bit to start the season. The Rams are 0-5 in the first 5 weeks after falling to Parsons last week. Riverton welcomes in the Cherryville Chargers tonight, trying for their first win. Chargers 3-2 to start the year. Now, the Rams had the lead at half, but Cherryville comes back and wins in the second half, taking this one 20-13.
The Southeast Lancers are also looking for their first win of the season tonight. The Lancers are at home against district rival Erie. The Red Devils are 2-3, trying to get back to 500 against the Lancers. Red Devils coming out of the gates hot. Seth Welch runs it all the way into the end zone, takes a big hit for his efforts. Devils go for 2 after the score. This time it's Case Welch going to the far side and in. Erie takes the 8-0 lead. Later in the first quarter, Southeast looking to answer. Colton Lawrence goes deep, finds Aiden Smith. Look at Smith, he does the rest, in for the long touchdown. Lancers try to tie it up with a 2-point conversion of their own. Landon Cole fights his way in, and they get it. We're all tied up at 8. But that doesn't last long. Back to Erie. Welch goes downfield to Bryce Demerit. He hauls it in, jogs in for the touchdown. That puts the Red Devils back on top, and Erie goes on to win this one 54-20.
Big one tonight for the Jayhawk-Lynn Jayhawks. Jayhawk-Lynn undefeated at 5-0 coming into the night on the road against 4-1 Pleasanton. Tonight the Jayhawks win again, 20-6. Jayhawks now 6-0 will host Olpe next Friday night.
We're at our final break here on Press Box. When we come back, we'll go to Oklahoma with highlights out of Fairland and Afton. Plus, you get a chance to vote for this week's Performance of the Week. First, though, here are a few more scores out of Southwest Missouri.
This fall.
It's time for Oklahoma football now. We're going to get started in Fairland with the Owls hosting the Quapaw Wildcats.
Quapaw, I gotta be honest, been one of my favorite teams to watch this season. They're 4-1 coming into the night after beating Commerce 36-13 last week. On the other side, Fairland also 4-1. Owls trying to push their winning streak to 4 games tonight. Pick it up in the second quarter. Quapaw offense looking good tonight. Already up 14-6, Jack Derringer finds Seth Stan Johnston. Past the defense, touchdown Quapaw. It's 20-6. After a nice drive, Fairland trying to punch it in before halftime. Carson Schertz takes it himself, trying to find the end zone, but he would come up short. So at the half, it's 20-6 Quapaw. Third quarter now, Derringer drops back, finds Deacon Schapp, zigzags through the Owls defense all the way down to the Fairland 3. That sets up Johnson, lines up in the Wildcat, takes it outside, untouched for the score. At that point, it's 26-6 Quapaw. Fairland offense now trying to answer, stay in the ball game. Schertz drops back again, finds Logan Sparks. Touchdown makes it 26-12. Wildcats get the win. They're 5-1 with the 44-21 victory. The Grove Ridge Runners, they got a good thing going down there. Grove 5-0 entering the week, trying to stay perfect at home tonight against Rogers. The Ridge Runners get it done big, 48-14. So they're 6-0 and will travel to Tulsa Hale next week.
The Afton Eagles are fresh off their first win of the season over Wyandotte and trying to make it back-to-back wins now, hosting Holbert. Homecoming night for Afton. Kat Osterberger being crowned this evening. Now to football. Afton offense ground game comes out strong tonight. J.J. Miller hands it off to Landon Johnson for a nice game. Few plays later, Miller calls his own number, takes it in from 20 yards out, 6-0 Afton. After going 3 and out, Holbert lines up to punt. Afton defense gets through the line with a nice block. Dusty Saylor recovers it off the bounce, takes it down to the 22-yard line. That sets up the Eagles nicely. Now Johnson takes the handoff again and punches it in. Touchdown Afton, 12-0 now, and Afton makes it look easy tonight, 40-6 the final.
Well, we got a couple more things to get to before we go. First, it's time for our nominees for this week's Performance of the Week.
We do this at the end of every show. On Fridays, we give you 3 options for Performance of the Week. You go vote on it, and then Monday, we'll announce the winner. Here are the nominees this week. First, the Galena Bulldogs hand Parsons their first loss, 14-13. Then the Northeast Vikings get their first win of the season over Uniontown. Finally, the Neosho Wildcats score 63 against Ozark. They've scored more than 50 points for the 4th time this season. To vote, all you have to do is go to KOAMnewsnow.com/vote and click on who you want to vote for. It's really that simple. We'll keep the poll open until 9 p.m. Sunday night.
Now at the college level, it's a really great week locally. This weekend, homecoming weekend for the Missouri Southern Lions. They host Lincoln at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. The Southerners 3-2 heading into that one. As for Pittsburgh State, they're playing in probably the biggest game of the MIAA season tomorrow. The undefeated 7th-ranked Gorillas host the 4-1 9th-ranked Northwest Missouri State Bearcats. That's also at 2 o'clock. Now here are the Gorillas on welcoming in their biggest rivals and facing a Bearcats defense that's so far been the best in the league.
They got a good D-line. They're returning like most of the guys besides the guy that got drafted last year. They have a good linebacker core. They lost an All-American and the linebacker core as well, but they're still returning a good front seven that plays hard. I like a little challenge. You know, I hear about how good their defensive line is, so I guess I'll have to find out for myself.
It's a big challenge for us. It's a challenge for us to run the football and then in our pass protection too, because we got to be able to throw the ball downfield as well. So, you know, we got to do a great job there offensively up front. We got to get the ball out a little bit quicker. You know, we got to play smart on offense for sure.
That's all the time we have here on Press Box. If you missed anything, we'll have our highlights posted shortly on our website and the KOAM Plus app. You can also check out a full replay of the show on Sunday at 12:30 on the 4-State CW.
For now, though, we are out of time. She is Danny. I'm Jacob. Go out and support the local college football teams tomorrow. We're going to be out there. For this show, though, we are done. We'll see you right back here next week.
I want to cover before we talk about anything